It is Thursday night, the new off-season night. Yes, that is right. No more Tuesdays nights. It will be Thursday night for your Sick Podcast Amble show. Since we are officially in the off-season, no offs for the boys, but there's plenty to talk about. The first lady spoke Monday, I believe, or Tuesday, I think it was, and then we heard Chris speak today, and so we have to break it all down. Is it more of the same? Is there new vision? The sense of urgency has never been higher, so on and so forth. Juju and all those things. Sammy, please start me up.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. And Bill Show.
Intercepted! Marlon Jackson! Marlon's got it! We're going to the Super Bowl! We're going to the Super Bowl! Marlon Jackson with the interception! He picked off Tom Brady!
The sickest Indianapolis Colts podcast. It's gonna be sick.
It is going to be sick, and yes, it is playoff time. So, Chris, I believe you have a job to do. What is that in the background?
Baby duties tonight.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to turn yourself down or something. God, it's your.
What is it you hearing?
It sounds like cocoa melon, bluey, and a lot of sprinkles all mixed into one.
Combination of it all. You might have to be ADL tonight.
It sounds like
Hey, the Bills, I'll be right back.
Yeah, it sounds like Chuck E. Cheese exploded. Like it's
just Omaha before.
Yeah,
before the intro and or before all of the promos and things. Chris, please pay the bills.
absolutely. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, makes every playoff moment feel even bigger than it already is. DraftKings has your back with early exit protection. If the player in your eligible NFL prop bet goes down at any point in the first half, you still get paid in cash. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 6sports. That's SICKSPORTS. That's code 6sports, all caps, no spaces, to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
All right, and now that is the official sound of the anvil. That means we are live. Please like, subscribe, follow on all the things: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, the X. Find us there, fellas. The official off-season pressers, or whatever you want to call them, the end of the season pressers have come and they have went. We heard Carlie speak, and then today we heard Chris speak, and then we heard the fans speak. So I'm going to be, I guess, the mediator of all thoughts. I'm going to take a back seat to start. Chris, I'll let you begin. You can start with Carlie. How did you feel about Carlie's speech?
You know what? Before I do this, I'd be remiss if I didn't just shout out the chat already. Shout out to Stacy, Flex, Sep. Shout out to everybody going ahead, Mike Miller. Everybody commenting already. Yeah. So Carlie's presser. You know, I probably could have done without it. And the thing is, like I said, it's no knock to her, but the thing is, I think the inexperience kind of showed, right? Like she inherited the team already midway through an off season, going into the regular season. And like I said, this one, she did seem maybe not as prepared to, I'm going to say, field the type of questions that come with, having the season happen the way that it did. I think if we had a season that was all bad or all good, that would have been one thing. But I think now, because of where you see the team and what happened, she seemed like to an extent she was blindsided. And I mean, like I said, I think that I'll chalk that up to the fact that she's coming off of, basically being a rookie owner, trying to get her bearings, trying to understand what the business is, while also understanding who she has under her with Chris Ballard, Shane Steichen. But I mean, honestly, I feel like, she went in like, okay, I know I'm going to get some questions, and I feel like maybe she was a little bit bombarded by the fact that they actually went after her and they said, hey, what's going on? What is this? What's happening? What's going on, Ricky? But that's what I took away from at least her presser in that case.
Okay, she's been called a lot of things, which I will not repeat here. Fans have
Very
been
unsavory.
frustrated. Fans have maybe spoken a little out of character, called out her name and all that other type of stuff. I have thoughts on that, but there's no need to go into those. But Pat, I'll let you speak on how you felt about Carlie before I go.
Well, I think I'm sitting there right there with Chris, to be honest with you. If she was going to come out and do a presser, something big needed to change for her to do that. I didn't think it was adequate for her to be out there and answer a lot of questions that she just don't have her feet wet enough yet for a lot of those questions. She deflected a couple of quarterback questions. You're the owner of this organization. You don't need to deflect. Any questions thrown at you is your lane. I think one response was, well, that's not my lane. I'm going to stay away from it, or something to that sort. But I'm sorry. You own this team now. You run this team now. If you're going to get yourself in front of media, everything's your lane. Yeah. There's no one above you in this organization. It is your lane, 100%. So, not saying she came out unprepared, because she didn't, but it was rookie-ish of her to come out like so. I think she should have stayed out of that one for this year. If she wants to do other interviews, things like that, different. But she knew what half the fan base, or more than half the fan base, was wanting, and she didn't give it to them. And all she can say is, I know you're pissed. I'm pissed too. But that's one thing I've been bitching about. When you say it starts with you, say it one time. And the rest of the time that you're in front of me, you best be showing me what you did to make you say that. If it starts with you, show me the changes. That's where I'm at. And look, I don't want nobody to take this as I'm bitching about Carlie. This is just my thoughts on if she should have been out in front of the media for the end of the year presser, because I don't remember Jim ever doing one.
Yeah.
You guys correct me if I'm wrong.
Not in here.
I think he may have, I think maybe a few years ago. But
but it's been few and far between if there is any. So being that this was her first official season under her belt, she could have hung back some and just not went out there. Let the people she pays millions of dollars answer the questions for why they failed.
Okay. So I have a lot to say. First, we would be remiss if we didn't mention that she showed up 30 minutes late. So a lot of people going to take offense to that because you said 2:30 and this, that, and the other. I guess as an owner, as a boss, I mean, time is of your own essence, if you will. She did what she wanted to do. That's beside the point. I think what I got from that presser is, look.
Yo, Pat.
Wait, what did I miss? Pat, King Clyde is crazy. First off, is that what Pat looks like? I've been really trying to find out what Pat looks like, and I love that if that's what Pat looks like. Not you, Pat. There's another Pat. But here's where I'm.
There's only one Pat.
Okay, yeah, well, whatever.
There can be only one.
Okay, let's relax. All right. So here's where I lay with this. I feel like the same questions were thrown at her multiple different times. Okay. And her frustration in not being able to say what she probably wanted to say is why the presser went so bad. What I get from this is she
Hey,
probably
hey,
wanted to
hey,
say
hey.
this. She probably wanted to say this one time. Okay. I chose to keep Chris and Shane. I don't care how you spin it. I chose to do that. Now, what her reasons for doing that is, have no idea, right? But she chose to do that. So, despite how you reword these questions on why they deserve another year and all that, that doesn't matter. I made an executive decision. Next slide, right? That's probably how she wanted to answer those questions, but that would have looked even more inappropriate. But I get
Yeah.
her frustration. I could see her mind kind of turning. Like, how many different ways can you ask me the same damn thing? That's the first thing. Secondly, and I'm gonna just be frank with it. I feel like I have said this multiple times, and we've seen it. She has no mentor. It'd be one thing if Jim had kind of given her the reins like the last 3-4 years and he was in the background, and then she would have him to talk to in these moments and kind of help her make these, these big organizational decisions. But you could clearly tell that she was out there out in front alone, and she even, referenced like her and her sisters think. I'm not going to undermine them and or say this, that, or the other. But if that is who she is making the decisions with, all of them are inexperienced, and you could tell, right? So with that stated, I feel like how she handled it was going to be the best it was going to be. And I don't knock her for stepping out in front like that, because she should. All year she had been getting all of this, I don't even know what you want to call it now, like media attention that was seemingly positive at the beginning of the year when we were killing it. And then they kind of like gave her a little bit of negativity, and then they kind of like just shied away from her. So if you hadn't been in the light all year, and you've been, on record for saying things like, if you want to band-aid it or fix it or all these other things, then yes, you should come out here at the end of the year and address the Colts organization as well as the fan base. So I think she did the right thing by doing that, but again, she just wasn't prepared. Again, I don't feel like she doesn't have anyone in her ear helping her orchestrate these tough decisions, because I mean, it all happened so quick. Jim just passed in May. Boom, you're the front of the thing right now. I think this would be completely different, and this is no knock on Chris Ballard, but if this was still still Bill Polian in the organization as the GM, I feel like she'd been way better prepared. And I would actually want her to go out and maybe bring someone in that's a Colt legacy type member to help her. Even if it is just mentoring or kind of giving her advice and stuff like
He
that.
just froze the hell up.
Who, me? Did I?
Now he's leaving us.
Me?
Oh.
Yeah, you just froze up.
No, he was fine over here.
Yeah,
He was froze on me.
You were frozen
yeah.
right now. I told you, because I'm telling you, man, there's some little Lego maniacs that are running your whole internet thing. I tell you this. They little brick guys that are building your internet as we speak. But no, all I'm saying is I feel like, Bill Polian, a Tony Dungy, anybody but Peyton Manning, because everybody thinks that Peyton Manning can come here and fix everything. I would rather it not be a Peyton Manning type person, but a Bill Polian or something like that, to just help her kind of get her legs underneath her. Because I'm telling you right now, bro, no other owner cares about her struggles. They probably have a heart for her losing her father, of course, but this is competition. I'm not trying to help another owner get better. I'm not here to help you. Well, if I were you, I would probably do this. Yeah, right. That's not happening. So she's got to improve in that area for herself. So that's my thoughts on Carlie. Yes, it was not the greatest soundbite clipped type, presser. She's probably going to remember that forever, which is why I think she had the statement afterward, the letter to the fans, that you can address things a little bit more clear when you don't have to speak on them, or you're getting random questions thrown at you or whatever. So shout out to her, for going out there on the stage and accepting what it was, and now hearing, what everybody feels like afterward. But I still got all the confidence in her. And I think we could talk about this in this next segment when we talk about Chris. I honestly think that this was the best move for her situation. And now we can go into Chris Ballard, and I'll give my my thoughts on that. But we started with CJ last time. So Pat, since it's your honorable father, his presser today. That's year 9 presser going into year 10 now. How do you feel? Does it sound the same? Does it sound like it's going to be, a little bit of what he showed us this year? Is it just this is the last ditch effort, the Hail Mary, if you will? What do you take from the presser?
Me and Chris was talking before we went live, and yeah, it sounded like all the others. The only thing I didn't hear was we like our guys.
Oh shit. We never want to hear that phrase.
Never.
We never want to hear that phrase again. My God, we like our guys is forever cemented in our mind.
Going into this press conference, I had a real good suspicion of all the questions that were going to be asked of him.
Of course,
so his answers to those questions didn't surprise me one bit. Now, I know everybody's mad. Everybody's sick of mediocrity. I get it. I'm still a fan of Ballard. And I still like him. Because look, I'm telling you, I just agree with the way he drafts.
You agree or disagree?
I agree.
You agree. Okay.
Now, I'm not saying he hits home runs with every draft. Because he doesn't, but I like the balance that he puts on both sides of the ball when he drafts. Unlike some other GMs we've had that went strictly offense.
Well, this year is going to be strictly defense. It better be.
It needs to be
a lot of balance this year.
Yeah, it needs to be. And if you look at what we're looking at and the needs that we need to fill, he, to me, is the best person to fix that this year.
You're going to get crucified for that.
I know. Oh, yeah. I get crucified every day. That's all right. I'll carry my cross.
You said the best?
Bruh.
Woo, I don't know about the best. Listen, there is
in my opinion. That's my opinion. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm not going to say it's wrong. But I like it.
In his 9 years, there's been a love-hate for me. You this well-documented. Before we had this platform, when I had my own platform, there was moments that I just didn't agree with. I will never forgive you for drafting a wrestler. I'm like, I just can't. And there's been times like that, and I'm like, I don't think I can handle this. But there's been times when he's been pretty effective. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna just leave that there.
He drafted a basketball player too.
Yeah, I mean Mo Alley Cox. I mean, look, was Mo Alley?
Well, Jelani Woods.
Oh, Jelani Woods, yeah, but Mo Alley
and
was undrafted. I thought Mo Alley was undrafted. Was he undrafted?
I'll have to look up unless somebody knows stats.
Yeah, somebody's out there with the keyboard. But Chris, okay. So we talked about this in the spaces. Shout out to the Colts Collective. We do our things every day. What is it? 8:45 Central Time.
8:45
we do our thing.
Yep.
We got CJ crash out spaces, not crash out like come here and go crazy, but at some point, the rabbit on the wheel or the hamster on the wheel is going to give out and CJ space will crash. But that's neither here or there. That's my boy.
Yeah, that rabbit is Elon. That rabbit is Elon.
But, Chris, how do you feel in year 9? Was it more of the same for you? Or did you actually hear something that gave you a little bit of optimism? Bye, Ballard. It's hilarious. Drafts. We don't have a first round for 2 years. Yep, Ricky, this is true, sir. Go ahead, Chris.
Before the presser, I went into it saying no expectations, no nothing, and then after the presser, I'm saying the exact same thing. Because you know what we're going to do? You know what I'm not going to allow myself to do? I'm not going to allow myself to be emotionally abused by Chris Ballard continuously, right? Because what do we hear?
Damage.
What do we hear from Chris Ballard, right?
You need that button. I'm sorry, Chris, but Clyde, you need that button.
Yes, Clyde, and Clyde, add that to the board. Add that to the board.
I might have killed emotional damage. Let me see.
I got to see.
Yeah, I killed him.
No, you gotta run that back. You gotta run that back.
I'll bring it back.
Yes,
but this might be it. Hold on. No, it's gone.
All right. So, but in all fairness, what do we do at the end of the year presser when we listen to Chris Ballard, right? We get these things. He didn't say we like our guys, thank God, because I think I would have crashed out on that one. But
I think I would have crashed out too if he
there
had
you
said
go.
that.
Yeah. So we
And
didn't
that's
hear
my
we like
bad.
our guys, but what do we hear? We hear he needs to be better. He hears, oh yeah, there's things that can change. We hear there's certain things that need to happen. We're always looking to get better. We're always looking to make sure we improve this team. It's always playoffs or bust. I feel like if I didn't do my job, I think one of the most telling things that he said was the whole like Carlie, she called me and she asked me just like, do you still have the juju to do this? And then of course I did, because who's going to sit there and say I don't and then get themselves fired? Like, no, you're not. So the issue that I had with it is that, we need to get younger and faster on defense. We've only needed to get younger and faster on defense for the last how many years? Like, you had the chance to do that when Anthony Richardson was coming in, because if you know that you're going to have youth at the quarterback position, maybe that's also a good time to invest in youth on the defensive side as well. But that didn't happen. And so there we go. There we go.
Sammy with
Jimmy
the come through. Appreciate you, Sammy.
There we go. We appreciate you, Sammy. Listen, clutch.
But it
clutch.
loves to have B on it. When you're on a network, they just take care of you.
I appreciate that. Shout out to the network, by the way, man. I mean, listen, we love y'all for listening, but we know that we know that there's not a whole lot of people out there that can do this the way that we do, or the way that the other sick podcasts do. So we salute y'all, man. With great listen. But back to Ballard. So this guy, he goes he goes and he says we need to be younger, we need to be faster on defense. We've only been saying that for years. Everything that he said is stuff that we've known for years. You're telling us like, oh, wow, that sounds like a great idea. Okay, well, how are you going to do it? Because the way that you've built this team before is you've gone dumpster diving on practice squads, and you haven't done enough to get young talent. And so now, I'm not going to believe a word you say. You have to earn the right for me to believe that you actually are going to do this. Because, like I said, when you've gotten younger talent that was undrafted, 7th round picks, things like that. But you're not going after younger talent by going and potentially doing that. Like, the Sauce trade is the first big move that he's made since the last time he made a big move 5 years ago to go get DeForest Buckner.
Okay, I'm going to take the other coin, on the other side of the coin. I thought it sounded a little bit of the same, but it had some optimism. It wasn't all of the same, like, I don't know what you want to call it, drab or, word vomit. I felt like he was, as fans, and I'm going to speak loosely on this, there's a number of fans, maybe a ton of fans that want to hear him come out and just absolutely just go completely off the rails on his players. Zaire's gone because he can't cover. We didn't get no pressure. So Quiddy, that was a bad choice by me. Tyquan Lewis, though he's been serviceable, he didn't do anything. Samson, but no one's ever going to do that. So I think we have to always read between the lines and just understand what we're actually hearing. We got to get younger and faster. Now point to the areas on defense that needs to be younger and faster. That's the linebacking core and the front four. So outside of Latu, pretty much all of them dudes, it's up in the air whether or not they come back. Buckner probably locked in because he is Buckner, and if he comes back and he can play, he's probably there. But I can't speak for the rest of them. I can't speak for the rest of none of them. So you could just take younger and faster and know that that's going to be a priority. That's just the way Clyde looks at it. And I'm not saying I'm right, but I think that that's the way that I have to perceive what he's trying to say without him just going completely off the rails, like I said, and just calling every individual player out for their lack of, you name it, speed, effort, I don't even know, prowess on the field, whatever you want to say. He's never going to do that. The coach is never going to do that. And so I think we just have to take it for what it is. So for me, it seems like the things that I took from that, Daniel Jones, if all things are trending toward his health is looking, in the right direction, by the time the spring hits, he's a re-sign. Alec Pierce is definitely a priority. So he's probably 1A and him and Daniel or 1A, 1B, if you will. So you could probably almost count on that. Anthony Richardson, he's trending towards the back. I don't think nobody's going to punt him off, like cut him or nothing like that. But he's probably going into the camp as number 2 if Daniel's ready to play, or him and Riley is battling it out for a week or two before Daniel can play type situation. That's what I get from that. And I do feel like, based on what he did last year, there will be more of that. So this offseason, no matter how we feel about the free agents, I feel like there's going to be some activity. He mentioned whoever's the numbers guy is really good at his job, and he said, look, we'll be in good position to do what we need to do, which could spell, a little bit of uncomfortability when it comes to players that might not be here anymore. That might be Michael Pittman. He might not make it. You know what I mean? If we need them 24 million back, whoever else is not going to count for major dead cap money this season, it might be the end of the road of them if they want to go out here and do some things. What I'll say to this when it comes to Chris as well, no longer can you sell me that depth is dudes that come in and compete for special teams jobs and then get elevated to play in high pressure stake situations because injuries happen to your number one. To me, depth looks like this. This is depth to me. Depth are guys that used to start, not 12 years ago. Oh, you got that interference, Pat? Is that you? Oh my God, you got, like
it sounded like a machine shop for a second.
Yeah. We hear everything that Moon Pie is saying, like loud. But anyway, depth for me is guys that used to start, not 10-year ago starters. I mean, dudes that started 2-3 years ago and they're still very serviceable. Bring those dudes in, and not dudes that you find, like Chris said, off of everybody's practice squad. They have a great RAS score. Nobody's heard of them. And oh, by the way, he's starting this week. Cameron Mitchell. What? He's starting this week. Jonathan Edwards. What? No, that's not depth. That ain't it. I need a dude that's proven everywhere behind somebody who's the bona fide starter everywhere. That's what this team needs to do. So that's just kind of where I am with it. But I think there was some optimism there, and I'm gonna just lay it there. I think there was optimism.
Yeah, so the thing, I think there's optimism, but the problem is that it's too late. Like I feel like it's too late for that, and the reason why is just because it shouldn't take you going into year 10 to understand that in order to fill out a roster properly, you need to make sure that you have a mixture of older guys, older veterans that'll be able to come in and do what they need to do, but then also have youth, so that this way, because if you're consistently making sure that these positions are filled out properly, for example, if you had somebody that you knew for a fact, you were just like, this guy shows promise, and you had them sitting behind DeForest Buckner for the last few years, and you can say, okay, well, you know what, this guy coming up, this is going to be somebody that may potentially be able to take over after him, and you have somebody learning from him, then that means that you don't have to worry about going and potentially making a move on a D tackle. It's not hurry then. That means that you don't have to panic when you're looking to get somebody to potentially replace production. That means that now you can go ahead and naturally bring somebody up as opposed to having to scramble for him. And I think that's the one thing that I've always talked about with Chris Ballard is the fact that he has found ways to let rooms just dissipate and just to go down to where you have guys there where you may have one or two guys, and even they're kind of like they're starters, but they're fringe. And then after that, it's nothing but depth. It's guys that really shouldn't even see the field outside of absolute emergencies when you get down to, CB 6-7, tight end, 5 or 6. And that's been my biggest thing with him. And like, I'm not expecting him to fix it.
Jesus Christ, Derek. Then you don't get to go to Germany no more underneath the Colts brand.
Derek, I need you to chill. I need you to really relax.
Bro, you're going through it, man. Like, you gotta hate.
Yeah, that's wild.
You just gotta stop coping. I told you, I stopped coping in week 15. The Phillip Rivers thing, because it had been a minute since I've coped. I coped during the Jeff Saturday year. I was like, this can't be real. And then I was coping with all the things that were happening. And then they rolled out Phillip Rivers. I was like, well, coping's over with. There's no more of this. So I can still watch peacefully. I can still go to football games and not have all this. I mean, Pat, you try to call me out in our personal chat. You was like calling me all this negative stuff. I was like, I don't care what I see from Riley Leonard. What I'm not about to do is have this optimism that Riley's next. No.
It's not about if he's next or not. It's about finding the light.
What light?
In the darkness.
Finding the light. What is this, Kingdom Hearts? What are we talking? No.
No, it's life.
Zelda.
It's life. You can be angry and pissed off and negative all you want, but it's not going to do you no good.
But that's not even negative. Like, negative is I'm not going to turn the TV on. F this team. I'm giving my tickets up. I'm not buying. Like, that's negative. Me saying I'm watching a game and I have no optimism that we're going to win is not negative at all. Because how fast did that change for you?
Hey, by the way, Teresa's in the chat talking about. Let's talk about that sexy thing, Riley Leonard. First off, Teresa, relax. All right, I need you to. I need you to.
You don't open up the bear's cage.
I don't.
You better let that woman do what that woman wants to do.
It's Thursday, Teresa, and I'm drinking. So you drink too, man. Get your fireball. We're not gonna be out here. Can you say manonizing? I mean, I know people say womanize. Can we? No manonizing tonight, Teresa.
Hey, by the way, I got it because we have a mixed bag tonight.
Shout out my boy Jeter. What's up, boy?
Yeah, shout out Jeter. Shout out Stacy. Front row at the fight. Evan was in. Evan was commenting. I'm pretty sure he's busy with the little one. Yeah. Cooley. Ugly, everybody. Listen. Hey, shout out to everybody in here. No, it's not Jeter. It's not Kinky in here. You sick, demented bastard. So yeah, it's definitely not. But hey, shout out to everybody watching from where you're watching from: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all that good stuff. We appreciate y'all. But back to this.
Me?
So, absolutely not. Huyan, yo, son Clyde is.
Hey, that's some racist shit. You can't say that.
What? Hold on, wait.
Stacey, you cannot say sell the black man. You just can't.
Hey,
26.
Stacey said,
"Oh my God, bro, I am."
Hey, she said the best thing for Clyde is slavery.
That's terrible. Wait a minute, everybody, cut the shit right now.
Emotional damage.
Oh my God, what is happening, bro?
That is insane.
Damage. Hey, listen, what in the hell? And that's when we have cut. All right, and go.
Hey, wait, Septimal said we gotta sell Pat. That's what Septimal said. We gotta sell Pat. We gotta.
Look here, man. We've been through a lot, right? These are wild times right now as Colts fans. But I'm telling you, man, like, for all the hate that Chris Ballard has gotten, I'm dead ass. I'm dead ass. I had more disdain for Ryan Grigson. And I'm not even trying to be funny. This is not me being a homer for Chris Ballard, but Ryan Grigson once said, and I quote, "It's hard to pay guys to protect someone when you're paying him what you're paying him." What the are you talking about? This is the franchise quarterback, and you're letting him get beat to death weekly. But because we were winning, because we had some success, some division titles, we went all the way to the AFC Championship one year, all the things, people will forget that GM was way more haphazard than what we have currently. And that's just why I can't go completely off the rails with Chris Ballard, because people absolutely crucified Andrew when he retired, but did nothing to talk about the man that actually retired him. Ryan Grigson retired him. He got beat to hell for 5.5, 6 seasons. And we got mad at Andrew Luck. No. This dude said, how do I pay a line when I'm paying a quarterback? Are you like, I don't want to say the R word because that's just not a sanctioned word anymore, but something's not right up here, up top, when you think like that. Like, dude, that is
that word's come back.
I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
You can say
it. That is the franchise. You
even
can
if it
never
does
neglect.
Sick Podcast Anvil Show does not endorse that.
You're right. You can never neglect the franchise.
Appreciate
And so
y'all.
that's just another lane for me. And again, that's not to take any light off of what Ballard has done or hasn't done or all this. But I'm telling you right now, like it's not even close for Clyde. That dude had to go immediately. I don't care if we won 4 or 5 division titles, which we didn't. I don't care if we went to the Super Bowl, which we didn't. We only got this much of Andrew Luck's career because of him. And that's just what it is, bro. So
100%.
yeah, like that dude was absolutely negligent beyond words.
And by the way, so Darth Vader,
And
he said Griggs in football was 10 times more entertaining. No, Luck was 10 times more entertaining.
Football was more
Luck
entertaining. Yes.
Like here's the thing. Like Ryan Grigson gets way too much credit for making the absolute home run pick that he should have at that particular time, because it's not like we were like 15th in the first round and then he traded up and got Luck, because then it'd be like, oh, this guy's crazy. He made a move and then Andrew Luck ended up being Andrew Luck. No, we drafted Andrew Luck because that's who we were going to get.
We were number one.
Anybody with no GM experience like he did the first year he was here would have drafted Andrew Luck.
Yeah. So now let's talk about that, because I wanted to key in on that. I believe that Carlie's decision to keep Chris Ballard solely relies on a couple things. We can look past all the sense of urgency and all this other nonsense. The truth of the matter is they went all in on the 2025 team when we were clicking on all cylinders. Made the Sauce trade. Mooney was coming back after the bye week. Everything was aligned, and then injuries happened and everything fell out of balance. But the truth of the matter is Chris Ballard's contract just on its own terminates at the end of next season. You also have the expiring contracts of like 6 or 7 guys that are getting paid good money. You know what I mean? So decisions to be made, but maybe not. You might make a decision to bring Quinn back for his 3rd contract. You probably make a decision, depending on how it goes, to bring JT back for his 3rd contract. But the other ones, you just probably let those just go on off and write themselves off. So there's no better time in my mind than to do that then, because now you're not having any type of like offsets. Like if you hire a GM this year but keep Shane Steichen, then does the GM want Shane Steichen? We don't know. If you draft a quarterback this year with Shane Steichen and a new GM, then what is that really? Or if you like, I mean, you want to have that be a clean slate all the way across. GM, quarterback, head coach, if that's what it's going to be. Plus all the aging guys, they kind of just fall off. So I think that she made the wisest decision based on trying to blow everything up this year and then just kind of like managing what? Because the one thing that people are forgetting, let's say we made all these moves, cut all these people, let them go, did all this stuff, brought all this cap in, and we still finished terribly. Like, so everybody thinks next year is just like a wash anyway. But we fall, into like, the lottery pick. Well, that goes to the Jets. That's a wasted year. We sucked for nothing. We sucked to give them a great. So you might as well tool up what you already had in 25, add a few pieces to it, and see if you can replicate the first half of that season and just carry it all the way through and make the playoffs. Why blow it up now and just say, here, Jets, you pick what you want. You want first pick, second, or third, because that's probably where we're going to land. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. So that's my thoughts on that. That's why I feel like that was the best move for her. But I'll open that floor to you guys. Like, what do you guys think about keeping everybody kind of in place this year?
I think you hit it right on the head.
So I shit.
What? Yo, the timing the timing was incredible.
That was like, she's top notch for that. She's well, yeah. See, I got you thinking, girl. Go ahead, Grandpa.
But
so
no, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Pat.
Well, I don't got much to say because I agree with everything Chris or Clyde just said. If she is going to blow this thing up,
all black people don't. Hey. Now,
come on, man.
What the shit? Boo you, DEI. Okay, my bad. Go ahead. I had to get that off. We talked about
good thing you're not here.
Okay.
Whoa, whoa, that's
But
crazy.
If she is going to make the decision to blow it up, don't do it now, like you just said, because we will suck with a brand new GM. Is he going to bring in a new coach? Who knows? And then Jets get to feast off of that. So if anybody gets to feast off of a piss poor season, we should get to feast.
Yeah, marry
Bottom
your
line.
GM and your head coach and your quarterback. Make them a nice little what they call that, a thruple, and then y'all ride it out.
Yo, that's crazy.
Don't be
Thruple's
in
nuts.
all these different relationships, because it just doesn't make sense. I mean, if I'm coming in, I'm looking at what's in front of me. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, okay, if I'm the GM, I don't really want that piece. I don't really want that piece. These aren't my guys. Go back to that phrase. We like our guys. Well, I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me do what I'm gonna do is the way I would be looking at it. But I would rather do that with a clean slate. But my bad, Chris. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the issue that especially because like I said, we wanted, well, not we, but it's just like I think wanting Ballard gone and knowing that it was just like, yeah, you probably needed to be out of here only for the simple fact that you hadn't delivered the way that you were supposed to. I think it was a no-brainer. It was very easy to know that, like I said, it's just like you've had this tenure where, anybody else in your position probably would have, you've had 3 separate segments of your career as a GM for the Colts that would have gotten you fired 3 separate times. And he's not afraid. He he's just like, oh, whatever. Like he can go in and say, man, listen, I'd fire myself. I have to be better. Like I heard him say, I got to be better today. And it immediately made my ass itch. Like I was just like, I was pissed off because I'm just like, I'm like, it's just like, I got to be better. Well, I mean, yeah, clearly. Like clearly you got to be better. But the thing is, it was more so just like, the fact that Carlie let it be known that they had these talks during the season when everything was happening, lets you know, okay, yeah, they were ready to not make that move. So, I mean, from her standpoint, it was like it was being pissed off with Carlie because it's just like, damn, like you didn't make the move, but it's also just the understanding that she's following this from a business standpoint, going about it in a way that we just don't like. Like as a fan base, we just don't like it because of the fact that that this is somebody who's proven in 9 years that he's less likely to pivot more than he is more likely to. And
welcome to Club 40, Chris, because it made my ass itch. Pause is something that the old heads say. That shit was a throwback. I think my uncle used to say that.
It legitimately did. Like as soon as you said it, I was just like, I took a shower this morning. Why am I feeling this way? And it was like, and it was awful. Like it was just awful that. But back to him, the problem is that you have somebody who I believe now, like I think Carlie going into this year upcoming, whether we as a fan base like or not, it's just like he's gonna be there. Now, is there going to be a much more of a burden for him to do what he needs to do? Absolutely. But the problem is that there's been a burden on him to do what he's needed to do all along, and he's been able to just kind of skate by.
Okay, so that brings up the side questions, the proxy information, if you will, the things that are unknown. Does he have limitations? I mean, if this is your last year of the deal, are we allowing you to potentially put future compensation at risk? Are we allowing you to draft a quarterback, let's say high, with high being second round? I mean, I don't know. What do you think about those things? Go ahead, Pat. You were.
Yes, absolutely. If she doesn't approve every move he makes, she's not doing this organization any service. We've seen it time and time again. GMs cripple a franchise because they're getting fired.
So he should have full autonomy to do all the things he would normally do.
No. I think I think she needs to approve it. This is her company. It is a business.
Yes,
You
he's
know,
always got to sign the check. So yeah,
you always have to protect your business. Always. Doesn't matter who it is. It could be me, you, Ballard. Doesn't matter. Have to protect the organization, and we've seen it too many times for disgruntled GMs knowing they're not getting re-signed or knowing they're getting fired at the end of the season, do a bunch of crazy shit that hamstrings the organization for a few years.
well, I
So
mean,
yes,
I don't think that's
I
Chris
think
Ballard's character anyway. But
I don't think so. No,
yeah,
but
yeah, I know what you mean.
she needs to set the tone now. Like, okay, well, you need everything approved. I don't care what you do, but I want to know what I want to know about it first, and I'm going to approve it because you're not going to sign Dylan Gabriel to a 6-year contract.
Okay, all right, yeah, I get it. We're not gonna be facetious, but what I was saying is
Oh, that's
more
my
so
job.
like are we going to venture into 2028 picks and shit like that if there's a move to be made? Are we going to potentially? Here's the big one. Are we going to sign Daniel Jones to a multi-year deal? Because again, let's say this doesn't work out. If the deal would have to be structured sort of like Sam Darnold's contract out there in Seattle, where they were kind of like off the hook, in year 2 or whatever. Like they wouldn't have been on the hook for much. But I feel like because you gotta you don't want to limp into next season saying like, well, this dude, he's probably not gonna be here after this year anyway. But let's say that is the case. I mean, you don't want to walk in the door and the next GM in here is like Daniel Jones on a 4-year deal. Like, I don't want this shit.
Well, also, but you can.
What do with
I
that?
think, but I think what we're also going to see is that you are going to see Daniel Jones potentially, because Chris Ballard made it very clear today. He said that Daniel Jones has a very bright future with this organization. And I don't think
that.
and so for me, if I'm looking at him saying that he has a bright future with the organization, I don't think it's unreasonable to say that even right now that they've already been in talks for what an extension would look like. I mean, maybe it's altered a little bit because of the injury, because of what they're looking at trajectory-wise for when he'll potentially be back. But I think at that point, you know exactly what it is. And I mean, Alec Pierce said it the other day on Monday. Well, when they asked him about it, he's just like, bringing him back is going to make it a lot easier for me to sign an extension.
All right, I'm gonna be 100%. And it's not like I just had this aha moment, but I can, given his age, I know the injury history is very, very complicated because it's hard to overlook that. That was one of my biggest, things talking to start the season. Like, he's been hurt pretty much every year, but I mean, I could see him as a 3 to 4 year quarterback, and that'll put him at 32, 33 years old. And then at that point, if there's time to move on, what does the draft have for me? And we just worry about building what we have now. I can see that. That might not be the sexiest play because I'm sure somebody wants a young quarterback coming out of, college that can do this and do that and do all these other things. But I mean, dog, that might be the play. Shit. I mean, because I think that was the play prior to the injury. The play prior to the injury was at a minimum in Clyde's thought process, a 3-year deal for Daniel at a minimum prior injury. Right. And that's even if he would have finished the season and we still missed the playoffs. Like, I still thought that was like, oh, we've seen enough. We think we can win with this guy. We just got to get better in other facets of the squad. So, yeah, man, I mean, we might just have to lock in and know that 17 went from Daniel to Phillip and back to Daniel. 17 is not leaving.
Craziness.
Sanity, actually. It's wild. That's going to be a trivia question in about 5 years. Like, I don't know how it's going to be phrased, but the number 17 was worn by 2 quarterbacks basically a week apart. Who was it? Shit like that.
Yeah, it's like it's the wildest shit ever. But but the thing is also, like, the one thing that I think, and this is for me, like, but we're going to be going over this throughout the offseason because, like I said, we're going to be doing mock drafts, all that good stuff. So make sure you definitely stay tuned. But also, if we're looking at it this way, I do believe now, I think Daniel Jones has proven he can efficiently run this offense. So, and like I said, that's coming from me, who, if you would have asked me this when we signed Daniel Jones, I wanted no parts of it at all. So make me a believer.
That's true. That's true.
So if we're going to do that, mind you, it's just like, I think we're not discussing AR anymore. He's the backup until he's not anymore. So
Anthony,
but
by
the
the
thing
way,
is,
not AR. You got to earn
Anthony, Anthony Aloysius Richardson. So so basically, like, I think this offseason, what we're going to see Daniel Jones being signed back, possibly grabbing one of these QBs who I believe that we're going to see that there's a lot of these QBs who, who had that luster, coming out this year. They're potentially going to be, going into that second and third round. I think, Clyde, you said you did a few mocks where Drew Allard was a name that kept on popping up around 115 and then just going. And I think we're going to see it. Like, you said what?
I just don't think you can do it now, man. I think
you can.
If Daniel is trending by April before the draft at the end of that month, you can't do it because of what's needed on defense. And I feel like you have to ride with Riley Leonard as a solidified 2 with the possibility of Anthony carrying the title next year, because I don't think you re-sign Anthony or pick up his 5th year or anything like that.
Well, we'll roll with me on this real quick.
All right.
I think the other part of that, the other part of that is the fact that I think you're gonna have to see that there's a couple people. I don't see Ward coming back. I don't see Ward coming back at all.
I don't see it either.
Yeah, I don't see Ward coming back because, like I said, I think for his own health, he definitely, I think he should retire. But like I said, I think that we're going to see, like, some players, potentially, maybe, we may see some trades. We may see some guys maybe right off into the sunset. I think free agency, you might get 1 or 2 guys, because I don't really like this free agency class. But I do see that I think that they're going to find a way to go ahead and amass some more picks.
I'm going to say patience is a virtue, because you did hear him mention both Hunter Wohler and Justin Wally. And so if we are able to bring that cap back, so we get whatever back from Mooney's contract because he decides to retire, I feel that automatically brings a healthy Wally to the number 2 to start, and you might go into free agency. We know it's kind of limited there, but the bigger names are Woolen, Dean, or Jalen. What's buddy name from Tampa Bay?
Oh,
the cornerback.
Is
it Neil? Neil?
I think. I forget. I know who you're talking about. I know his face. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. Yeah.
So I feel like that automatically.
Jamel Dean.
There you go. I think that automatically elevates a healthy Justin Wally to number 2 if Mooney steps away, and you're going to get that money back from his contract. Plus what we talked about earlier, maybe there's a Michael Pittman move or somebody else that's not going to cause a lot of dead cap. And then I do believe we all kind of agreed to this on the spaces today, that there is plenty of depth in this free agency class, which goes to my point. I wanted guys that used to be starters, and not starters 6 years ago, but they started last year. They started the year before, and they can still play at a high level. They're just not a 1 anymore. That's what this team needs, because we have seen it's like when your car is just going through it. It starts with 1, light, and then as soon as you try to fix that light, all the Christmas tree lights on the hood come up. That's what happened this year when injuries happened. Like, the injuries happened, and it was like, oh man, you really have a problem at corner. Oh man, you really have a problem at linebacker. You really have a problem at defensive tackle. You really got a problem at this, and this. I'm like, man, we can't stop the bleeding. So yeah, we got to get real quality depth in here. No longer dudes that you can just find on a scrap heap and pay them, I don't know, chump change to come play for a week, and then they're cut. Like, that's over with. We're done.
Yeah, no, we, like I said, I don't want us to ever run into the Xavier Howard experience ever again, because, like I said, it's just like gone are the days of picking up guys who have been away from football for a year, haven't been actively playing, because I don't want to see that shit ever again.
Now you say that, and before we get into our closing remark, that's literally the bookends of this season. pick up Xavier Howard, who hadn't played football in a year, and close it with Phillip Rivers, who hadn't played in 5 years. That's the bookends.
Yeah.
That's never happened probably nowhere else in the NFL where they said, hey, I'm going to bring dudes back that didn't touch the field for at least a season. Is insanity. But hey, only in the horseshoe. You know how we do. This is our Colts. This is our team. We bleed blue. And Chris,
Why'd you do
Cialis,
that?
please.
Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that?
Cialis, please.
There was no reason in hell you need to do that.
Patrick, you're going to get a brand new handle immediately. The Crow Eater is dead.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, go ahead, Chris.
I'll go back to Big P.
Fine, whatever. Just don't.
All right, man. Listen. So you can find the replay of this episode. Well, matter of fact,
Since we went down to one show week, Z103 is still going to carry us on Wednesday afternoon at noon.
Okay.
They're still giving us the primetime slot. And Mix 105, I don't know when they're going to play Thursday's show. So you just have to tune in, turn your notifications on for X1 or Mix 105.
Absolutely. And you make sure that you go to z103.com. That's going to be Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, correct?
Mm-hmm.
12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to hear the replays of this episode, since we're now on Thursdays for the offseason. We're not doing 2 episodes since, like I said, there's no games. So we will definitely be here Thursday, same time. And you can find us on Twitter at CJ Colts Fan for me. Clyde, where can they find you?
You can find me at Colts Clyde on X and stuff.
At Colts Crow Eater.
See?
Currently, I will be changing it from the request from the boss. So
at Colts, he don't know until next week. That's what you should say.
Well, we'll go with that. So, and then you can bring up the podcast page, please. Make sure that you are going to @SickPodColts for clips from this episode and other episodes, so that way you'll be able to see everything that we've spoken about. Make sure that you are going to z103.com. You can actually download the app, or you can go to the website and just listen live online. Whichever way is easiest for you, do it that way, because we'll be having the replays of these episodes on Wednesdays, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central. And then also Mix 105, stay tuned. You can actually find them. You can go to their website, or you can actually go to Facebook, where you can go ahead and just subscribe on there as well. Also, for our fellows over in the UK, you can find the replays of this episode, 5 o'clock p.m. UK time. Still don't know what it's called, and I'm not going to care to find out. So you can go ahead and make sure that you go on at 5 o'clock p.m. UK time. And then also please bring up Visit Indy. All right, you can go to if you scan that QR code with your phone, you can actually go to Visit Indy. You'll be able to find everything going on in the Indianapolis area, no matter what time it is. I know Valentine's Day coming up. Fellas, go to Visit Indy, see what they got going on there, do something sweet. I know it's going to be cold. I mean, do something for your lady, okay? Just, or your peoples. I don't know. Whatever you subscribe to, that's on you. But just saying, go to Visit Indy where you can find out what's going on there. And make sure that we bring up this next one for our youth football camps. Yes, sir. And youth football camp, we're back at it again this season. The first event that we have going on is going to be our event on May 17th, 2026. That's going to be hosted by Josh Downs and Tyler Warren. Last season we had Josh Downs, but Drew Ogletree came through. Josh Downs' family came through, incredible people. And Tyler Warren's going to be coming through as well. If you have kids aged 5 to 17 or know any kids aged 5 to 17, get them registered now. Like I said, that event, there was hundreds of kids out there. So yeah, make sure that you get them registered ASAP. That way they'll be able to come out, have a chance to get some training in, also be able to meet the players. So make sure that you go to youthfootballcamp.com, and then you can make sure that you register for that amount right now. And so, yeah, so other than that, I think that's about it. Shout out to the chat again for going crazy today. Y'all were on one, and I appreciate it.
It's okay. So because we plan on having George on Sports, who is a well-known podcaster in the UK, we're going to get this right for Chris. It's called GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, established in 1880. That is their time.
You said what?
GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. That is their PST, CST, EST. That is their equivalent, GMT.
Greenwich Mean Time.
Yeah. To our UK family. But anyway.
I was fine not knowing that.
Well, I'm telling you because we're going to host someone from the UK and we want to make sure that we respect that as well.
That's true.
Anyway,
George is my guy, so I'll definitely make sure I remember that.
George,
yeah.
We're going to get something squared away. I know I saw it. I was talking to you in our messages, so I will definitely get you squared away and get things locked and rolling on that. But thank you all. Like I said, new adjustment one time a week. We're going to do Thursdays this year. Last year, I believe we still kept it on Tuesday, so we'll try Thursdays, but it might flip. You know, it's the beginning. Long way to go before we get to September again, but there's still football to watch. So use your DraftKings Sports, code and all the other things. Make some money and do the things. But until next week, these are the boys. We are out.
And the moon pie. Say bye.
Bye. It's almost my cousin Ellie's birthday.
Oh, happy almost birthday, cousin Ellie.
I didn't. That's what she said, cousin. Okay.
That's what she said.
I heard something else. I thought I heard cuss it. I said, who we cussing at? But anyway, Sammy, get us out of here.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast and Bill Show on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.